All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Earn Podcast. This is Stephanie Ampanza, and I am with my co host, Kojo and Jeffrey. And we have a special guest today, Bianca, who will share a little bit more about herself. But we're really excited that you're back for episode 5. We have been talking about our why. We've talked about resumes and interviews. And today, as I mentioned, we have a special guest who will be joining us and sharing a lot of her insights. She is a phenomenal friend and professional. She keeps me in check through her accountability weekly classes that we have or sessions that we have. But she's going to bring some strong insight into what HR professionals look for through interviews and resumes. So really, really excited to have her today. I'm going to turn to Jeff, who's going to share a little bit more about today's episode.
So today, as we all know, right, Bianca, thank you for joining us, and I think this is gonna be like a good segue so that we know why we do need to have like a real strict playbook that comes from HR, and I think it's gonna really help us. So to be able to navigate when it comes to seeking for jobs. And most importantly, we do know that our audience are most of them are trying to search for jobs and trying to pivot from one company to another. And also, most of them are also trying to grow professionally. So I think this topic that we're going to have, or this discussion that we're having today, will be very, very good. And especially we having a main HR personnel with us. She's also going to give us a lot of insights what HR actually do need, the red flags that comes with job applications, and how we could better ourselves or maximize our potential when it comes to we applying for the job. So I think we are very, very excited for today. So at least we can get to hear what Bianca has to teach us and has to help us with everything that we're going to be doing today.
Awesome. All right, well, let's get into it. As we mentioned, Bianca is CEO of Career Image Solutions. She has been doing this work for over 20 years. She has extensive experience, so I'm going to pause, allow herself to introduce, share a little bit about her background and her HR experience.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for having me. Jeffrey, Kojo, and Steph. Super, super excited. So a little bit about me. I am Hennither B Gant. And over the last 20 years, I'm only 21. But,
Me too, girl. Me
yeah,
too.
I was just like, I can't believe it. No, but for over the past 20 years or so, I've been in this world of HR. Little fun fact, I actually started out in the classroom. I wanted to be a teacher. And then
I didn't know that.
pivoted. Yeah, pivoted. Really excited to dig into that a little deeper. But I prior to stepping out on faith and starting my own company, Career Image Solutions, I had worked in nonprofits, Fortune 500, even Department of Defense, and federal government. And I was called to start a business, and that is what I did. So since then, companies, organizations have trusted us, hundreds of them to date, to support them in their HR, their recruitment, their training needs, and individuals, thousands of them have trusted us with their training needs as well as career strategy. So essentially, we ensure that we support organizations so they can be world-class workplaces, and we equip working professionals to be world-class talent. So all things people is who we support. And again, really excited about bringing and leaning into this experience that I have to this conversation today.
Awesome. That's great. No, we appreciate just you coming and sharing your perspective. I shared a little before that we've been talking a lot about resumes the past 2 episodes. We talked about interviews. And from your perspective, like, what do you wish when you think about job seekers? Like, what do you wish they understood about the hiring process?
I know this sounds really basic, but one of the things I really wish more job seekers understood is that they're not the only one. So when you think about it that way, just that, so we have a recruitment division, and I always tell people we don't give advice based off of theory. Like, we actually are doing the thing, right?
Right, right.
And so when we're posting a position, in fact, we had 3 clients of ours that just told us they were hiring. Those positions aren't even posted yet, right? But we know, and we purposely don't want to post it yet, right? Because we know as soon as we
Interesting.
post it, there's going to be hundreds of applicants.
Yep.
Of
Right?
course, yeah.
So just knowing that you're not the only one really should position, I think, the job seeker to put their best foot forward and to ensure that they have specific keywords that make them stand out. Right. So that's one of the things I still see that that element of that understanding is missing, especially when I come across people like, oh, I've been looking, I applied to 50 jobs. And it's like, yeah, but so is everybody else. Like,
Right.
let me see, like, are you tailoring it? Are you specifying? Do you stand out? So I think that's the key, the missing piece there.
So, just to jump in real quick,
Yeah.
Bianca, and I'm very curious about this. You mentioned keywords, you mentioned that, because as an individual, I don't know who else is applying, and I'm only privy to what is in front of me, the keywords I'm using. I guess, what is the main thing that could basically, because when we have these resumes that go in my mind, in as much as we are trying to get all the keywords in, sometimes it still doesn't stand out. Should we reach out to recruiters? Should we try to find a hiring manager? Like we talked about this last week, but I'm trying to get more insights of the way I could circumvent this in some type of way, because sometimes personally, I probably feel it's not enough, right? And I'm sure some people might resonate with this. So I'm just curious to see what you think about this.
Absolutely. I don't necessarily believe that there's any right or wrong. So I'm going to answer this in 3 parts because you mentioned, should you reach out? What else can you do? I'm a huge, proponent of what's for you will be for you, especially if you are positioned correctly, right? But I will say, so there's there's some parts to it. There are some recruiters that will tell you, do not reach out to me. And you do not want to, right? But if there's nothing, at the bottom, usually at the bottom of the job posting saying that you can't reach out to them, I don't think there's anything wrong with reaching out to them. I actually hired someone who gave us a call. Okay. Their resume was at the bottom of the list, and I would not have gotten to them. Other people rose to the top simply because of their resume, but because she called, it made an impression. So I am an advocate of, I think that makes you stand out in 2026, right? Because so much is based off of the digital presence. The other part to that is that, you're not the only one applying. However, I always like to teach that when you see a job posting, or you see, it depends on your industry, requisition, whatever it is that you're calling it, right? When you see that, that's the employer telling you their problem. And your resume has to show that you are the solution. And if we are taking if we're taking the same approach by, i.e., using the same resume, the same, same thing, and there's nothing tailored towards what they're saying their problem is, then the chances of standing out is very slim. Now, again, there are some industries that you don't necessarily have to do that much tailoring. Like IT is one of them, right? They want to know your systems, but what ends up happening in like fields like IT is that it just becomes overcrowded now, right? Because everybody has the same type of keywords. So there's more that you have to do. So there's no right or wrong, so to speak. I would just say that, you definitely want to not just focus on your job, but also pay attention to what are the keywords, what are the best practices that will make you stand out in your industry.
That's great. That's good. That's good.
That's perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very good eye-opening, especially when you said about you, the individual called you, and then that kind of made the individual stand out. And I think we said this during our previous episodes that sometimes the old school way kind of goes a long way, either going directly to these companies that you did apply for, or as you, in your case, they call and made them stand out. And I think, thank you for bringing that on board. And I think our audience will love it.
Good.
Along those same veins, like, what do you think are some common mistakes that candidates make during the application process?
So again, it depends, right? But however, there are we also need to understand, I'm sure you all have probably talked about this or know about it, but there's a AI has always been used in the application, not always, but it's been used in the application process for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Not all organizations, um, not all applications meet the human eye first.
Mm-hmm.
Some
Yep.
do you understand where I'm going with this,
Yep.
right?
Yep, yep,
I'm
yep, yep.
trying not to go too deep.
Yeah, I got you.
Say it
Yeah,
all the
we
time.
get it.
But the bottom line is one of the mistakes is that if you see that there's a questionnaire, some people will bypass the question, and I get it. Like
Oh.
nobody feel like doing all of that. I just want to
Interesting.
I just want to quick apply. I just want to go pick that. No, but
Right.
I didn't got time for that. No, the reality is that I think what most applicants don't know behind the scenes is that we many times put those pre-screening questions in there in addition to the application, right, to weed you out.
Yeah.
So when you don't, it's not even that we're looking for the perfect answers, but
Right.
we know that it takes a certain type of person who actually completes it. So I would definitely say that that's definitely one common mistake.
Oh, I did not know this.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this whole time. This whole time. And I've been
You were 10
applying.
years old. You were 10
And I've
years
been,
old.
and I've been applying. And I'm like, they don't call me back. Just kidding. But that's really insightful. Thank you.
Yeah, I would say that that's definitely one of them. And then I would also say, and again, it just depends, right? Like just following the instructions. Sometimes cover letters are making a comeback.
I was gonna ask about that though.
Little by little, it's so interesting. I'm actually not a fan of cover letters.
I know. I don't like reading them.
Same.
I'm not a fan, but no, cover letters are making a comeback, especially if your role like requires some type of writing. They just, anyway, I see that a lot of nonprofits have been doing that most recently. But the other thing I would say, like a common mistake, would be the fact that again, folks are just not paying attention to the instructions.
Yeah.
And one of the common ones is like sometimes they'll say where you have to be located. Right? And what you'll end up seeing is that people will apply and then they will have like a different state, or believe it or not, even having like, even though especially like the DMV area, everybody has a different, area code, but it just raises an alarm, right? So one of the key things you can do, especially if a position says that, oh, you have to be in, the Illinois area, whatever, right? And you know that you're in Maryland, is to go ahead and put, the city and state, so that way they just don't guess. They don't have to guess, especially because AI is doing a lot of the guesswork for many organizations now. And literally because of your what's the thing that's called when your IP address,
Oh yeah.
your
Yeah,
location.
yeah.
So literally because of where you're applying from, there's some technology that's embedded in these applicant tracking systems that automatically kind of bring you down the pipeline because of the location, because that employer
Interesting.
puts the
Okay.
location as a requirement,
That I did not know.
Yeah, so whatever the requirements are, there's some systems that allow us, or as an employer or hiring official, recruiter, whoever on the back end, to put that if the applicant doesn't meet these requirements, we don't want to see them first. Right, so we put location as I'm just seeing the location thing being like it's coming up as a thing because there's some laws around location now. So how we were in the remote world and the whole work from anywhere during the height of COVID, because of some additional laws, employment practices, it's not a good practice for you to allow an employee to work from anywhere now. You really want to make sure that they're in a location that you can pay payroll taxes to. Let me not go into the weeds with that, but there's reasons to it. So paying attention to the requirements, making sure that you are highlighting that in your application, so that way not only does AI not have to guess, but also if it meets the human eye, the humans don't have to guess either.
That's good.
This is great. Great. Bianca, I have a quick question for you, right?
Sure.
So I work in IT, and I noticed that there's people don't usually pay attention to this, but when you're creating your resume and you just copy stuff from ChatGPT, right? And then you dump it into your resume. What it actually is doing is that whatever script that is behind ChatGPT or the AI that you're using, right? It gets everything gets transferred onto
Mm-hmm.
the your resume. So when you're applying for these jobs, the as you said earlier on, it's your AI is screening a whole lot of resumes
Mm-hmm.
before it even gets to the human eye. So before an AI, the AI will catch you right away that okay, you used one of my script or you used the chat GPT script in as much as you did copy. So I think the hack here is that you need to, if whatever information that you do get from ChatGPT, I would say type it in instead of you copying and pasting. And I think it might save you a little bit, but I want to know, is that a good way or is that a good practice?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. The inclusion of AI, first of all, it's saving me a whole lot of time, right? Like who doesn't want to do the same thing faster, right? So to your point, that is definitely one hack. Another one, if you really just need assistance, I'm a big fan of input first before you receive the output.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of people who are just going to AI right away for resumes and career related stuff directly for the output without much input, right? So what I mean by that is like work on your own resume.
Yes, yep, you're
you
right.
know,
Yep.
do that first. And then one of the other hacks that I like to share with people is take, instead of copy and pasting the whole resume, take line by line, asking it to reword it, right?
Mhm.
And then that way you can, again, to your point, not necessarily have to type it in, but even if you copy and paste it in, you can like reword the words, right? Use
Yes.
different synonyms, things of that nature, versus copy and pasting the entire resume. Or if that just seems too, arduous, you can just, do one job at a time, just to ensure that you are actually laying your eyes on it. Jeffrey, I think one of the biggest things is not just the copy paste, it's just the laziness sometimes that I think is also
Yes.
attached to
Yeah.
it, of not going back. So you know how ChatGPT, for example, has like, the little statements at the bottom that says, "Oh, and I can also do this if you want." We actually saw that on somebody's
Oh,
resume.
no way.
You know,
Oh, I have a whole story about that
Oh,
actually. I have a
jeez.
couple of stories. And this is
like
just
we
by the
can
side.
tell,
Yeah.
we're all using it. We know, right?
Yeah,
Um,
and it speaks to the person's work ethic, right? Like
yes,
Yes.
I saw that one time, I asked someone to do some work and it was just sticking out like a sore thumb right in the corner. And that just threw me off. It made, even if the work was decent, it was just so disrespectful. It's like no respect for the
mm-hmm,
work you're trying to do.
mm-hmm.
Just, switching gears real fast here. Um, I do hear some buzz. Do you hear it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Um,
I do too.
all right, it just stopped. All right, I'll edit that part out. Anyway, switching gears real fast. So let's say Bianca, we've actually got our foot in the door. We are trying to. Right now, we have an interview coming up, so we are getting prepared for an interview. Right. Basically, in your experience, what typically separates an average interview from a strong one? If you could give us a bit of insight.
Oh my gosh. And again, I'm hoping that I'm just sharing things that the listeners are already doing, right? That's what I'm hoping. But one of the things that I'm still so shocked at is that working professionals are not researching the organization. It's just
That's bad. That's 101.
It's one of it's still happening, and let me tell you, it's happening. It's not, you would think like, oh, it's just entry level roles. No, like we just, our recruitment team, we just recruited for executive director. We just recruited for like these are not like entry level roles. And I'll give you a prime example of just even my own self. So someone reached out to me I was hiring an executive assistant, and oh my gosh, the interview was phenomenal. You hear me? I mean, she was hitting all of the
Doing that.
things, everything. Steph, do you hear me? I said, oh,
Excited, ready to hire her.
what? I am literally, not only would I have hired, I would have went above even the pay range.
Oh, I love that.
Technology, everything. And I said, well, what I asked her a question. I said, well, what was it about Career Image Solutions that made you even interested? Because she was a referral at that too, that made you interested in pursuing. And she's like, well, honestly, I didn't research. And I said, well, tell me about what you know about HR. Tell me about something. Like I'm digging. I'm trying to give her, something. And
it's a whole layup.
I mean, listen, Kojo, I was trying, and literally, she couldn't give me anything. And I told her right then in the interview, I'm like, honestly, you would be such a great fit, but I am no longer hiring those that don't take the initiative.
Yep, that's it.
And I
straightforward.
Yeah. I don't like playing. I teach all of our recruiters the same thing. Like, we're all humans, right? Like, let's not waste people's time. Let's tell people when they're doing a good job. Let's tell people when they're not.
And not dance around it. Yep.
Even that makes that research, not just researching what the company does, but here's what I would also say, Kojo, is, making sure that you're researching, like, who works there. And again, this sounds so basic, but I'm telling you, it's still not being done. Another thing that makes candidates stand out, I think, in the interview process is also bringing examples of the work that they will be doing there. Okay. So even pivoting, let me tell you, the game changer, the win-win, what is you go and you don't just say, oh, this is what I've done. You bring in the examples of how you've done it and applying it to, remember, the job posting is what? The problem. Right? So
exactly.
You need somebody that can do, fix computers. I'm making it up, Jeffrey, because you said you're in IT, that can fix computers. In my last role, I fixed about 10 of them. And about how many, flipping the question back to them, how many computers would you say would be needed to, be fixed in the first month of my tenure, making it sound like you're already there, you're already a problem solver.
So I'm so excited you brought this up, because 2 weeks ago, about a couple of weeks ago, we actually did talk about it, saying that going into an interview, you want to make sure that, because people are looking for problem solvers. When you really think about it, they're hiring people they don't have. They need extra help. That's why they're going out to hire. So you saying, I've seen an X problem, or I read, I went on your company website and I realized you're using this technology or this methodology, and I can, use something else, or these skills that can actually make you 10x you, 3x you, save you money in some way. People love that value. So Bianca, I love it so much that you're actually touching on this point. I really, really appreciate it. Yeah.
Yes. And just to add a little bit, right? Bianca, you hit the note right on point, because with my current job, right, as a cybersecurity analyst, right, when during the interview, the company that I'm currently with, they had never had a cybersecurity personnel. So when I asked them, so how do you guys survive in nowadays? Like, how are you guys going about all these cybersecurity breaches, that ransomware that a lot of companies are getting attacked with? How are you guys been able to survive it? And I asked the interviewer, and then he said, fingers crossed. We are just hoping that we don't get any breach. So that kind of made me know that they really, really do need my they need me there to be able to help them. And because having a finger crossed approach, I don't think was a good answer in a way. So I caught them lacking in a way. And I think, Bianca, you said it right. Researching about the company, and also trying to lay out the question back to the interviewer, knowing that, okay, this is what you've done and this is what you'll be bringing on board, will actually get you the job faster. Mm-hmm. So thank you.
No, thank you. No, that was a perfect example.
All right, so Bianca, just a quick one. So what kind of advice would you give to someone re-entering the workforce or trying to pivot careers, right? They've done one thing, they're trying to switch careers. For instance, I'm 32, for anybody here. But if I decided to switch careers, do something else, what kind of advice would you give in terms of pivoting?
Wonderful question. This is something that I did, right? I mentioned that I started out being a teacher. And one of the things I loved teaching, and I'm still doing it now, just in a different capacity. I recognized very early on that while I enjoyed teaching, I didn't like people telling me how to teach. I didn't know that was the makings of an entrepreneur. I'm like, don't tell me what to do, though. Leave me alone.
Yes.
Let me live.
Yes.
No, but so one of the things that I had to do, because I'd already invested all of this schooling, and being a teacher, you have to do certification, all that. I'd invested in all of these things, and while I was pursuing those studies, I was working 3 jobs that were not related to being a teacher. But I decided I wanted to pivot to HR. That's a long story. But anyway, I wanted to pivot to HR. So I was working 3 retail jobs while, doing all of my coursework and things of that nature, with no car, driving back and forth in Baltimore City. I mean, riding the bus back and forth in Baltimore City. And one of the jobs that I had was at a store called Leatherman, where we would sell leather jackets. Everything was leather in there. And I saw that in order for me, you all going to pick up what I'm putting down in just a moment. I knew I wanted to go into HR. So I began researching the jobs in HR, like entry-level roles, just to see what are the things that's needed. And then I began researching like HR director roles to see what were the things that were needed, right? And I noticed there were some common themes. Recruitment, people wanted training, people wanted onboarding, and I knew I didn't have that experience. So at Leatherman, I began to tell my supervisor, hey, you know what? When people come in and they apply for this job, do you mind if I sit with you to help interview? Do you mind if I'm the one who just collects the resumes and the applications? Can I review them?
And so you were building experience in real time.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And then I was working at a computer lab, and I had to learn all IT stuff. So that, there was some systems. So I asked my supervisor there, I said, because, I'm like, oh, is there a way that I could help you? Can I take a load off of you to help train the people on how to use this software? Right. So now I'm getting training one place, onboarding another place. So now this is what I like to call creating your own experience. So if you are clear about your pivot, if you are clear about where you would like to go, then it is time for you to begin creating experience. But here's the thing. We have to know that when you pivot, most times you're starting from ground zero again. Not because you don't have any transferable experience, but just because you now have to build a brand again, and sometimes in another field. It's never too late. So 32, I have stories, man, where people have done a makeover at 60. Makeover 45 after children. So the age is not really the thing. Who wants to be in a job where they're miserable for all of their life? So if you need to pivot. I don't care how old you are. You owe it to yourself. Is it a service to life for you not to be fulfilled in this life? Right? Mm-hmm. So pivot.
I love it. Keep preaching.
Yeah.
Keep preaching, Bianca. Keep preaching.
But
yes, we love it.
Mindset wise, don't think of it as a step back. Sometimes you do have to take a few steps back, and then you end up being propelled 5 steps forward, and it's not a bad thing, especially when you pivot. So one thing is create your experience. Other people may call it bloom where you're planted. Say like, what do you have going on, and what are some things that you can expound upon? Do you have a friend that has a business that you can go do? I know a lot of people, Jeffrey, actually, I know want to enter into cybersecurity. I just went to a working job fair. Lots of people want to get into cybersecurity, no experience. I said, who do you know who you could just go in and say that that small business does not have cybersecurity? You go in and you say you want to consult with them for the next 3 to 6 months, no cost, so you can get the experience.
Wow.
Bianca, I have a question there. I have a quick question there. So while you do that, is the understanding that, because to me, it sounds like a time problem, right? Like even if you wanted to do 3 to 6 months, say you have an active job going on, say you're a teacher or even an engineer. And today, I wanted to become, say, an HR professional, right? Actually, HR. I want something that, let's say, a banker, right? Say I wanted to work at Wall Street to gain experience. Now, this I'm trying to, I'm thinking about the time. How do I still get time to get valuable experience or something that I can say I did while still working my 9 to 5? Because, during working hours, I'm working, and after work, that company is closed. So, how do you, have you come across any way where
Yes,
you
I
could
love this.
sort of like circumvent that?
I love this. There's a young lady who I worked with who was in the classroom and she wanted to do a pivot. We were doing lots of career coaching sessions. Bottom line is we recognized she wanted to go into recruitment, right? And she was working full time, taking care of an elderly mom. Bottom line, if you want it, you will go and get it. That's what I would say. Let me just preface in saying that. So what she ended up doing
Easy.
was doing stuff in her lunch break. She was assisting, doing stuff on the weekend. She offered when she could do something, and she found an opportunity to be gaining that experience. So while she was working, she was doing maybe 5 hours a week. Nobody is saying you have to go get another full-time job.
Right.
Who cares if it's 1 hour a week? We just need the duration on your resume. Somebody pick that up. Pick that up, put it in your back. Nobody is saying, oh, did you do it for 32 hours a week? We need to know if you have the experience doing the thing and you can actually do it, right?
Okay, so you're saying that trumps someone who necessarily say over the weekend they just took certifications, right? Like, say they took a certification in it, because a lot of people do that. They say they're trying to transition, and what they end up doing is, they take a bunch of courses on YouTube or Coursera, wherever, without experience. Would you say obvious, and in their minds that should suffice
No, it
for
does
an
not.
entry? Okay,
I love
okay,
this
that is that
question.
simple. Yeah.
Oh, I love this question. We can go another hour on that, but I know we don't have time. But no, listen, anybody can pass a test. Anybody can pass a test. Experience
Easily.
is king. Clarity is kingest. But experience is king, especially when you're pivoting, right? Especially when you're pivoting. So get the experience by any means necessary. And I'm not an advocate of lying either. You understand? So I'm not out here saying go lie and say you did this and you didn't do it. No, I'm saying go and do it. Whether it's 2 hours a week, whether it's 3 hours, we get the experience. The certifications, yes, that's helpful, but I'm telling you, especially in today's market, the same job that we post for Kojo today, the same job that we posted 2 years ago, we have double the applicants. The
It's
same job,
tough. It's tough.
double the applicants. You understand? Get the experience. Anybody listening to this conversation, I pray that you are blessed. Number one, but please do not hide behind degrees and certifications in 2026. That will get you to the door, but that doesn't necessarily give you a seat. You understand? Yeah, at least the experience will invite you to sit down.
We were
I loved it.
I was saying that to Kojo.
Yeah.
Early,
this
like
morning.
this morning, actually, because I was like, oh, I've always, like, an element of my work, project management, like, just because of the nature of it. And someone had said to me, like, oh, do you have a PMP? I was like, no. And it made me think, like, should I have one? Like, maybe I should do a course. Like, and then I thought, well, it'd be interesting to find out, like, maybe, what are some new things I might learn through a course? And I mentioned it to Kojo, and he was like, no. He was like, you don't need a course. Watch a video. He's like, you already have, like, all these years of work experience. Like, you don't need, like, sometimes we love courses too much, and, like, you can get the experience by doing. He was saying you get the experience.
And my favorite saying, PhD, not PhD. Go do the work.
Come on.
Go do the work. Yeah, it's in the work. Steph knows me. One thing I hate is people that say, I have XYZ amount of courses, degrees. My question to you is, have you done it? If you haven't done it, don't talk to me. It's that simple.
Listen, yes. We're on the same team. Yes.
Yeah.
So Bianca, I have a last question for you.
Yes.
Right? And I think I really do see this a lot, especially in the IT field. There's a bunch of people that do job hops, right? They don't stay at a job like they try to do 6 months to a year. Does it have any bad effect on them, especially because they know that they are the real deal? I don't care. I will stay within the job 6 months, and when more money comes for another job, I'm out. I am not like a huge proponent of that. I think you should have at least 2 year tenure under your belt when it comes to being with a company. And I know different circumstance or things can happen for you to pivot. But what do you say about people that do job hop all the time?
Yeah, so Jeffrey, I don't know which generation you are a part of, but
The old generation. I'm an old guy.
because I'm a
Jeffrey, we are not that old. We are not.
I'm a
Yeah.
geriatric millennial. I'm a
Me
geriatric.
too, right there with you, sis.
I'm a young grandma. Or, I'm a little old school, the way I was raised, all of the things, right? Compared to what's happening now. So what I will just say is that I have recognized, because, I train a lot of other HR and recruiters, work hiring professionals, and I have noticed I've noticed a difference in philosophy pending generation, right? So I am actually similar to you, Jeffrey. I think that it looks better on a resume if you at least show, the rule of thumb that I've been telling people is at least 2 to 3 years, at least 2 to 3 years. I feel like it just looks better, right? And again, circumstances happen, things of the nature. However, I am seeing that there's a lot more openness to the younger generation job hopping. Now, there's definitely some age bias. So if this conversations around younger people job hopping is like, oh, that's the norm, that's just what they do. And then if they see somebody that like should be seasoned in their work job hopping, it's like frowned upon. It's like, what is this? What is this person doing? This person isn't serious.
Yes.
So again, I just wanted to kind of bring that generational philosophy and that dynamic, that it is a real thing. But again, I would say that I think the times are changing, and it's changing so fast. And I think that in order for anyone to stand out in today's job market, you want to make sure that you have a solid career brand. And part of that is ensuring that you can show consistency, and consistency can be shown in the tenure of which you've worked with an employer.
I love that terminology, career brand. I have not heard that.
So I love it so much. I will say, so I do have a question. However, I'm going to play a slight devil's advocate here.
Yeah, he likes to do that. Don't mind.
There's nothing like I like to do that, but see, the whole point is, say someone has stayed in a certain job for a while, right? Say they've stayed in a job for 3-4 years, right? However, we know that, in jobs, year after year, if you're even trying to get promoted, you don't typically get even close to 50% of your earnings. Say if you're moving from one position to the other. There's been a lot of research that backs, a lot of data that backs, the research basically saying if you do job hop, you can basically increase your earning potential. I guess to me, what I'm trying to say is, if someone is trying to increase their earning potential, true, maybe they already have the skill set. For instance, someone is a great computer software engineer, right? They know how to code. They are the best at what they do. They feel they are not earning as much. But, by job hopping over the course of a certain number of years, they're able to increase their earning potential. I am not saying it's right. I'm saying I know it works, that some people are able to increase their salaries from, say, $90,000 to $200,000. Trust me, the statement I say sometimes belies my own personal experience and what I'm doing, but I do know some people are doing that. So this is me speaking for some of the people that might have a reason to job hop, and I cannot say it is right or wrong. I'm just saying, speaking to a rationale as to why people do it.
Absolutely. And listen, you're not a devil's advocate, you're angel's advocate. You're my angel's advocate.
Thank you. You see, Steph, be nice. Just be
Am
nice.
I angel's advocate? No. And listen, and that's why I prefaced in saying, again, it varies, right? The philosophy on it varies. I don't believe there's any right or wrong. And there are certain industries, you mentioned IT. IT is a world of its own. You understand? If you hopped the way that I see, and I know somebody personally who went from pharmacy, right? She was a pharmacist and she also is now an IT professional. She does both at the same time. And she hops to where whoever's going to pay. Who's going to pay her more? Because guess what? She has all of the certifications, right? So everybody just kind of knows in the industry that that's what they do. However, if you were in HR and you were hopping from one job from 3 months and then the next job
Exactly.
was 6 months, so I also think that there's a nuance that we must talk to, right? In knowing your industry and
Your
knowing
industry. I think that's the main. Yeah.
yeah,
What the industry is calling for.
yeah, and
I
also
guess.
go ahead.
No. I was just gonna switch, but jump in.
Yeah, the last point I would make is in today's market, is super important for you not to be overinflated in your own view of yourself,
Yes.
because social media will tell you go get the bag, go get the bag, go get the bag. So I'm an advocate of going and getting the most money you can get, but nobody can really pay you your worth. I'm kind of a person who likes to lead with purpose first, and I
Yes.
believe that money will chase you once you
Yeah.
establish your value. But again, I know that's not a popular thought because of social media telling you go get the bag, go get the bag, go get the bag. But again, people don't necessarily count the cost. So I would just say that if you do, you are hopping, if that's your goal is to get the maximum pay, then do what you got to do, girl. Do what you got to do, bro, right? Do what you have to do, but don't overinflate yourself. Because what I
Exactly.
don't want you to do, I'll give you another example of this. He was in IT and he negotiated like he was supposed to. They gave him more money, and then when he accepted, he signed the offer, and he said, "Oh, I'm worth more, this, that, and the other." And the job said, "You know what? We don't want you anymore. We're rescinding this offer because you went back on your word. You're like, why are you
Yeah.
And let me tell you, that gentleman came back to us and asked us to see if we had anything else to place him in. We didn't do it either because his brand was jacked up now, right?
It's a
He
whole
was
brand. Yeah.
Wow.
yeah, and he didn't find another job for another 3 to 4 months,
That's
right?
tough.
So
That's
anyway,
tough.
don't overinflate yourself. If you're going to do it, know that you have the worth, know that you bring value to the table. So you're not, have a false perception of what you really bring. This is so good.
Go ahead.
All right. Now, so speaking of earning potential, I really love the direction that this is going in terms of, staying at one place, showing loyalty to a company because that has a lot of returns, or, job hopping. I guess there's two sides to this coin. I guess while staying at a certain job, right? Can working hard itself lead you into promotions? Or do you think, in terms of what do you do? What are some of the nuanced things that you can do that can lead you there? And also, what are some of some work habits that are also keeping really talented people where they are and they are not making progress in their company? If you could really speak to that. Now we've transitioned into, you've got a job. How do you stay in the job, and how do you get your most earning potential in the job?
You guys are making me so excited. First of all, you all are phenomenal interviewers, by the way. Seriously, I'm having so much fun.
Thank you.
I have a whole training on you have the job, now what? I have a whole segment on this. So bottom line is, yes, there definitely, again, it depends on your industry, right? But one of the things I'll just that will summarize this whole response to your question is the best time for you to build your brand is when you don't need one. Okay.
That's
so
good.
what I mean by that is, one of the mistakes once you're already in there is folks thinking that they don't have to do anything else outside of work. Like they don't have to, like everything is built.
Yeah.
You are your job's best kept secret. You're working so hard for the job, that. And, working hard, and we don't have enough time to go into that. I have some thoughts on
We're gonna have to bring you back, but go ahead.
I know I have some thoughts on working hard, but bottom line is you want to make sure that, again, going back to what we talked about earlier, like what are the problems within your organization, and are you solving the solutions? Not just are you doing your job description,
Yeah.
Right?
Value.
You could be working hard,
Mhm.
doing the wrong thing. Listen, companies bring us in to handle their layoffs, to figure out who should be laid off. Do you know the people that are laid off? It's not just people that are lazy, it's people that are hard workers. Because
Interesting.
they're working hard in their job description, but not working hard on the ROI of
That's
what the
good.
organization needs to solve.
That's good.
I see. And people always say I'm getting laid off, and you'd never understand the why. This is very insightful.
Oh yeah, I have so much intel on that.
Yeah, you
for
didn't go
sure.
beyond.
Oh, we need that intel. Give us a scoop.
Listen, I mean, when you do, like, unless the whole company shuts down, just think about it, right? Think about this. When you see, and I've been laid off. I never forget the first time I've only been laid off one time, but I was laid off. I was hired at a firm doing HR stuff, construction firm. Bottom line is, the company was bought out, so they came in with their own HR. So they had to, figure out who was going to be let go. Well, another young lady was there 1 year before me. They put me on the project to determine who was going to be laid off. After I had the difficult conversations with laying these people off that have been in their workplace 20 years, 15 years, 30 years, all of the things. Mind you, I'm the newbie. I'm the one having the conversations. After I finished, I was laid off.
Imagine. That's deep. That's really deep.
I was laid off. So
That
I'm
is
giving you
wild.
that perspective, and then again, we've coached countless organizations in doing the same thing. And what I will say is that your brand is so important. Your brand is so important. It's not just about if you are doing a good job, it's how people are perceiving you. Jeff Bezos says your brand is what people say about you when you leave the room. If you don't take time to invest in what others are, with others' perception, not that you should care so much that you go into the pit, you understand, but it's there's an element there's an element of leadership, of self-leadership, that you owe it to yourself to see what are others seeing about me, and am I bringing what is needed to the table to ensure that when they see me, my brand says that I'm a good return on your investment. I'm a good return on your bigger salary.
I love what you say. In my old job, my boss used to say something. He had this note, and it basically said, "Perception is reality," and
Yes.
it belied everything I used to think coming into jobs, because I never wanted to be the teacher's pet or someone's favorite, or trying to look too good. I was like, my work will speak for me. Boy, was I wrong. I was like, my work would just speak for me. No, to your point, the brand is very important, and perception is truly reality. How you want people to perceive you in some type of way. So I love that you bring that topic up.
This has been so good. We're nearing to the end, but one of the things that we like to do are our rapid fire questions. And we're just going to ask you a few questions. You just give us a yes or a no, or in these case, you just state the either or statement. And then, we'll come back and talk a little bit about it. But from your perspective, is being likable at work almost important as being skilled? So
Yes.
is it better to be likable or be skilled?
Both.
Okay. Is loyalty to one company still worth it?
It depends.
Yes or no, Bianca?
Is it still worth it?
Rapid.
I know, I'm so sorry. No.
All right. Should people leave a company to increase their salary faster?
Yes.
All right. We're going to stop there. Do you want to elaborate on anything?
you guys should see me
I know
raising my hands here. I'm like,
wait.
but
Actually,
I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet.
No. We'll let Jeff and Kojo go for it. We always do this.
We know why Bianca is Steph's best friend. I think they kind of think alike.
Jeff, talk to us. Likable or being skilled? What's more important?
I think being skilled will take you far.
All right. Loyalty to one company still worth it? Yes or no? Should people leave a company to increase their salary faster?
1,000%.
All right, Kojo, talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
Is it better to be, is being likable at work just as important as being, or is it as, oh, let me go back. Is being likable at work almost as important as being skilled? So likable or skills?
Yes, likable.
Is loyalty to one company still worth it?
No.
Should people leave a company to increase their salary faster? Yes.
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 Yes. Straightforward. Yes.
I know.
I know Steph is gonna say no. What about you, Steph? Let us know what you think.
Likable or skilled?
Honestly, I think skilled.
Okay. Is loyalty to a company still worth it?
No. I know.
Should people
But
leave
I
a
have
company
a
to?
caveat.
Oh, wait. Should people leave a company to increase their salary faster?
No, let me answer for Steph. No.
No. Oh, Jeff, Jeff, no, Jeff, no. Jeff, we almost caught her in a trap.
No,
We shouldn't have said anything.
No, he's
Oh
right.
my God, Jeff.
He's right. No.
No, now you've changed the skills.
I know
She
I have
almost
it.
said it. Yeah.
I have
Oh my God, Jeff. We almost got her.
Forgive
But
me,
no
forgive me.
problem.
No, I was
I
going
was
to say
thinking for
no.
Steph.
No, the trap was there. It was set.
No,
Anyway,
because
Bianca, we'll let you go.
I've experienced where I could have left a company like sooner and I would have got paid way more, but it wasn't the right time. And staying where I was actually accelerated me faster. So I had to stay a little bit longer to get where I needed to get, but it wasn't the right timing. Well, I think they're nuances. They're nuances.
Bianca, I'm all good. We'll let you handle these ones. Let's hear your
Talk
thoughts,
to
Bianca.
us, yeah.
Well, you said you were wrapping up. So the first one was, what was the first one again? I'm sorry.
Is being likable at work almost as important as being skilled?
Yeah, I mean, because you started it out that way, and then you said it had to be yes, one or the other, So, again, I hire for a living. I'm part of secret conversations that people don't know about, and I know likability is very important. There's the know, the like, and the trust factor. And it's unfortunate, especially if you are working in the West. It's not that skills don't matter. It does, because if somebody likes you and then you just a bust, right? So I think that both is important, but I have seen my own experience is that those that are skilled and not liked are usually sometimes also pushed out the door. If you're skilled and liked, I see that as a really good two punch, if you're both. But and I know you all have seen this too, where people
I've
are
seen it.
liked. They're liked and they're not even that skilled. They're like mid performers.
Yeah.
They're not even high performers.
But people like them
because they're liked. They are protected.
Yep.
So that's my perspective. That's
agree.
my opinion, but I teach on that. I teach on the KLT model, which is the know, like, and trust factor. So that's the reason why I said that.
You said no, like, trust.
Yeah. There's some statistics. So I took that from business. I took a business class, and they talked about that people do business with the reason why customers purchase your services is because they know you, because they like you, and they trust you. That's the reason why we send out newsletters. That's the reason why we post on social media. It's for them to know us, to like us. It's for them to trust us, right? If they don't trust you, they won't buy from you. So I literally took that same framework from the business perspective, and I flipped it to teach, not working professional, but hiring officials, supervisors, and leaders to say, hey, if you really want to build rapport, or if you really want to establish your brand, right? That KLT model is super important.
So this is interesting. We are all business owners too, so I'm sure you'll be coming on another episode to come and teach us a bit about entrepreneurship.
I would love it.
That's good. Is there anything else that you wanted to, because you kind of hesitated on the loyalty. I don't know if you want to talk about that.
I'd love to hear that one.
Oh my gosh. Yes. So similar to you. So we also work with lots of folks that are want to go into federal government. Obviously things are a little different now. But we've supported countless of folks with their resumes to apply for federal government jobs, and they have been very successful in gaining entry. And one of the things, because I also used to work for the federal government, is that I recognize that even for me, because I worked for Booz Allen before I went into the government, and without putting all this stuff out there, I'll just say that what I saw is that there were people who were there forever. Okay. And we're not promoted, we're not advanced, blah, blah, blah. Now, you know, my hustle is a little different, you know. My hustle is a little different. I do recognize that unapologetically. But because I had external experience, I was paid more in the same office. As been there for years. Right?
I see.
And then I also saw that when folks got industry experience, they became more valuable, because people would get like really upset. And this happens too for some of our clients. They always get stuck. They say, oh, do we go and hire somebody outside, or do we promote from within? And it's always depending on, do you have the skills and do you have the things needed and within? If the answer is no, you shouldn't. But the reason why I bring that up, right, it goes back to this question, is like, okay, so if you don't have it from within, you have to hire from without. From without. So sometimes you do have to leave, go get the experience, and then maybe that's the company you really want to work with. But, you know, so again, that's not loyalty, but sometimes it can still be loyalty. But you just have to do what you have to do for yourself. So that's why I was stuck.
Okay, I got you. I was a little. This one was hard for me, just because of like experiences I've had, and I don't know. I feel like my situation is different because I have a really great mentor who like really supported my career growth. And so it's like, I feel like I'm more loyal to who, of course, was my boss. I'm loyal to her, right? So not necessarily the company, but like where she goes, I go, if that makes sense. And so for me, it's I don't know, it's tricky. And I think you also have to, in company, like you need to self-advocate, you need to be self-aware. Like I think, you know, if you stay someplace for 10 years, well, is it because you're comfortable? Is it because you're growing? Because I've heard a notion of like, it's like you're up or you're out. Like if you're not growing, then you need to go. But then there's then the issue of timing. So I don't know. I think for me, it's always been being loyal to someone who has actively like supported your career growth. That's just me.
Well, that's all I got.
All right. Thank you very much. We loved this episode. And I'm sure everyone on this pod too thinks the same, and our audience too will really appreciate all the insightful gems that you kind of laid on us right now. That being said, do you have any final thoughts you'd love to share with us, with, you know, the audience? What do you like to hear from Bianca? Very interested.
Great question. I would just close in saying, first of all, again, thank you all so much.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to the feedback, and I can't wait to kick it with you all again. So again, thank you so much. But I'll just tie it back to two things that I've already stated, but just to echo, if you're pivoting or you feel like a change is needed and you're not necessarily certain about their timing, don't forget that you can create your own experiences. It doesn't have to be traditionally what you are used to it looking like. Create your own experience. And then the last thing is something I also said already, which is the best time to build your brand is when you don't need it. So don't wait to be looking for a job, you know, before you start going to networking events and building your network. Build it now when you don't need it, so that way you can have it when you do need it.
Got it.
That's great. I love it.
That's amazing.
Awesome. Thank you. I got so many gems. Like I think one of them was, you know, your resume has to show a solution. And, you know, oftentimes in business, it talks about like, you know, your business should be a solution to a problem. And I have not translated that ever to like the world of work, right? Like you are a solution to a business, you know, problem. So really tailoring your resume to that. And then what you were talking about with like career brand, like everything that we do, like we are a brand ourselves. And like you just said, the best time to build that brand is like when you don't need it. Koja and I have been talking about how like just challenging our, like I used to go to networking events all the time, but you know, they can be exhausting, but just challenging ourselves to go at least once or twice,
Mm-hmm. A
continue to get
month.
out there. Yep. And part of that is, you know, that's building your brand when you don't need it. So I think that was really insightful for me. And then the KLT, know, like, trust. That's great. Great. So
Yeah, I really appreciate you, Bianca. Very,
can you
very
tell us
insightful stuff
where,
today.
yes, can you tell us where we can find you, learn more about your company?
For sure, for sure. So I am on all social media platforms at Hennither B Gant. At Hennither B Gant on, on LinkedIn. That's the best place to find me, to contact me, but on all things. And also you can find out all the things that I have going on and the different companies that I get to steward at HennitherBiancaGant.com.
Awesome. Thank you.
Amazing. So you guys heard that. Go give Bianca a follow, Hennither on LinkedIn, connect, reach out. But when she posts the jobs and she says, don't reach out, please don't reach out. Uh, so um, get connected, connect with us too on LinkedIn, Kojo Sapon, Stephanie Aponsa, Jeffrey Asamoah, connect with us. We are more than happy to kind of give you a few of the things we know. I've learned a lot. I'm sure Jeffrey, Steph, you guys have learned a lot. And I'm going to start applying them. And I'm actually going to connect with you on LinkedIn right from here so that I can keep learning more from you. We really appreciate you coming on this pod today. And that being said, thank you. And hopefully we can actually do a part 2 of this episode. I think we
Yes.
still have more questions. Our audience still wants more, and we are more than excited to have you back. If you're willing to come back, more than excited to do it again.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. That being said, as you all know, coming to the close of this episode, again, you can find us on End Playbook Podcast on Instagram and TikTok and LinkedIn. You can also go on our website, the End Playbook .com, and kind of find our resources, updated conferences, and updated resume. And also we'll try to upload the most recent episode there. Again, we are trying to get on all platforms so that you guys have all information available, and feel free to reach out to us. Don't forget, please, listeners, if anything from this conversation was really sticking and you want us to have follow-up questions from tonight's conversation, what is it going to be? And if you need your questions answered, please drop it in the comments, in Instagram, in our Spotify, and on TikTok, and we'll do well to answer some of the questions here. We are going to have a Q&A section, and once you put your questions there, we'll be able to answer. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Steph, take us away.
Awesome. Thanks again for joining us. We're excited that we will be joining you, or you guys will all be coming back next week. So please continue to follow, make sure you post your questions on Instagram, or you can email us. So thank you, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thank you.